एक बार SBI Securities का इमेज नहीं है बैकग्राउंड में डालने के लिए कि भेजी था
नहीं आपने हाँ जी रखा कैसे डालूंगा
वो एक मिनट आई थिंक यहाँ जाके नहीं जाने कुछ बाद में देखा किसको ना पैसा
सर अभी आया मेरा चेंज किया यार
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for this webinar on understanding the structural tube industry of India. We will wait for a minute and two, maybe at 4.2 minutes we will start. So good evening, everyone, and thanks for patiently waiting for us. So before beginning this webinar, I would like to give some disclaimer that this webinar we are focusing only for understanding the structural steel tube industry in India. So I will request each and every one of you to kindly restrict your questions to that particular topic only. So we will be discussing industry structure over here, how is the industry placed, what are the various growth drivers, which are the companies which are in this industry, how are they expanding their capacity, and which are our topic in this sector. So I will request each and every one of you to kindly restrict your questions to sector pertaining to steel tube industry, and that will be really helpful if we can do a focus approach and do a deep dive in this sector rather than asking a question on any company across the listed universe. And at the same time, I can see there is a lot of requests for a webinar on technical analysis, fundamental analysis. So we have noted your point, and we will definitely conduct a separate webinar to understand technical and fundamentals. So definitely, we have not jotted down your request, and we will go ahead with that maybe in the next month. So we are at the fag end of the January, maybe in the Feb. We will definitely arrange a webinar on understanding basics of fundamental as well as technical. So right now we are at 4 p.m. and 2 minutes, and I think we can start now. So I once again welcome you all on behalf of SBI Securities for this webinar. Thanks for taking time out from your busy schedule and joining us today. And joining me today is my colleague Harsh Vasa. So Harsh is a very seasoned analyst. He tracks metals and metal products at SBI Securities, and he has got a very deep understanding on all these entire metal and steel industry. Regarding the steel tube industry, so we have Harsh and myself, we have been tracking this sector since last 6 months, and we have visited many companies. We have talked to many management, and post our interaction with management and plant visit, we have culled out a small presentation so as to share knowledge with you. I hope over the period of next 30-35 minutes we will add some value to you. हम आपको सबको स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बताएंगे, और आप अगले 30 से 35 मिनट में आई एम श्योर डेफिनेटली आपको कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन होगा स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री को लेकर के. और एट द सेम टाइम ये सेक्टर को कैसे अप्रोच करना चाहिए ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिहाज से, ये सब भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे 30 से 35 मिनट में. तो ज़्यादा समय वेस्ट ना करते हुए मैं हर्ष को इनवाइट करना चाहूँगा. हर्ष, प्लीज वॉक अस थ्रू योर प्रेजेंटेशन. या थैंक्स. या
Thank you, Sunny sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So now let us start with the presentation. So today we are just going to focus on the growth opportunities in structural steel tube industry. So structural steel tube industry is also known as ERW steel pipes. So we'll begin with that. So as we know, like the broad Indian steel pipe market, it is divided into three broad categories. So one is the DI pipes, which is ductile iron pipes. The second one is seamless pipe, and the third one is welded line pipes. In that, we have a bifurcation about two things. One is the saw pipes, which is submerged arc welded, and the other is ERW, which is electric resistance welded. So today we'll be focusing on ERW pipes. Yeah. So ERW pipes, if we see, so there are many key players into it. Like there is APL Apollo, you have JTL Infra, you have Good Luck, you have High Tech, Rama Steel Tubes, and so on. So now, like coming to the so today's India steel pipe industry is approximately around 12 million tons and stands at around 78,000 to 82,000 crores in value terms, of which ERW pipe market is around 40,000 crores, which is 400 billion as of FY23. So as we see in the chart, coming on to the next slide, where we have given the ERW market share in volume and value terms, where we can see the ERW has a commanding position in volume and value wise, which is standing approximately around 58% and 53%, and followed by saw pipes, seamless, and ductile iron pipes. Yeah. So now, Kishan, could you just turn the slide to the next slide? Kishan, are you there? Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, Kishan, can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So, like we were talking that the Indian steel pipe market, it is divided into three broad categories. So first is the ductile iron pipes. So those pipes are majorly used for water and sewage transportation. And the key players in that are, as you can see in the slide, is Jindal Saw, Electro Steel, etc. Then the second one is the seamless pipe. So those pipes have a higher EBITDA per ton, and those pipes are majorly used for oil and gas, engineering, automotive, and power industry. So the key players in that are Maharashtra Seamless, Jindal Saw, ISMT, Jindal Stainless. Yeah. And the third category is the welded pipes. So that is divided into two segments. So that is divided into the two segments. One is the saw pipes, which is submerged arc welded, and that is further divided into H saw and L saw. Even those pipes are majorly used for oil and gas, water, sewage transportation, and where the pressure is relatively lower, whereas in ductile iron and seamless, the pressure is relatively higher. And the major players in saw pipes are Jindal Saw, Man Industries. So they Man Industries having a capacity of 1 million tons in saw pipes, etc. And the last segment is the ERW pipes. So today's topic will be majorly discussing on ERW pipes. So this segment is a very emerging segment and is growing on a very rapid pace. Where so these pipes are majorly used in auto, power, water, sewage, and now the new modern age infra, it is used in the airports, malls, metros. Then you have green energy, you have water sanitization in the Jal Jeevan mission by the government. So in that, there are many key players such as APL Apollo, JTL Industries, Surya Roshni. Then you have Good Luck India, High Tech Pipes, Rama Steel Tubes. So this all the players, they are rapidly and aggressively expanding their capacities, where APL Apollo has the highest market share. And so it has a market share around 55 to 57%, with the capacity of 3.6 million tons, and is going to and the proposed capacity expansion is 5 million ton till FY25. Now coming on to the next slide, Kishan. Kishan, can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So now coming on to the ERW market share, the volume wise and value wise. So over there, as we can see, ERW pipe, it commands the highest market share in terms of volume as well as value, at approximately 58 and 52%, and it is followed by SAW, seamless, and DI pipes. So the total industry size of the pipe industry, which is inclusive of all the three pipes, which is welded, DI, and seamless, is around 12 million tons, and value-wise, it is approximately 78,000 to 82,000 crores. And out of which ERW pipes market is approximately around 40,000 crores as per FY23. Yeah. So coming on to the next slide, Kishan. Yeah. So as we all know that currently the structural steel tube market, like it is significantly lower. The structural steel consumption is significantly lower than the global average. In India, the structural pipe consumption is around 5.5% of the total steel consumption, which is less than half of the global average, like around 9%, as we all can see. So there is a massive underlying growth in the structural steel tube market, and currently the structural steel tube market is at the nascent stage. So it's just at the beginning of the massive run. And the next diagram, it depicts that the current the potential of the structural steel tube is around 7.7 million tons, and it is expected to grow at a CAGR of 12% from FY23 to FY30 at to 17.3 million tons. So why there's a massive growth? Because the as you can see that the construction space, it is gradually adapting to the usage of these pipes, and the traditional usage of the long steel products is like slowly declining, and it's been replaced by the ERW pipes. Therefore, we believe that the scope for rising per capita consumption of ERW pipes remain very high. This should augur well for the overall demand for the structural pipes in India. Yeah. Kishan, next slide. Yeah, thank you. So, like now, let us discuss about the growth engines. Like, what are the which sectors will drive the demand for the structural steel tube? So, first is the railways. So, in railways, as we all know, that the government has planned to modernize and upgrade around 1,275 railway stations under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. Therefore, to support this, the government had, in its last budget, announced the total capex for the upgradation by 240% YOY to rupees 130 billion. So that was a massive amount, because this capex had been risen by 9 times from FY13-14. So railways has a, like the ERW pipes is a tremendous opportunity in the railway sector. Then second is the oil industry. Now, recently, the government has approved 100% FDI in the upstream and private sector refining projects. Therefore, it is anticipated that the India will double its diesel demand to 163 million metric tons by FY 29-30. And additionally, there is also an expectation growth of 25 billion cubic meters in the consumption of natural gas. So majorly in oil industries, like commercial grade pipes are being used, such as black pipes and hollow pipes. Now coming on to the third one is affordable housing. So affordable housing, as we all know that it is slowly seeing an emerging trend of a modular building, which is the future construction methodology, where the modular steel structure are built in house and then assembled on the site for final construction. So therefore, in FY24, the government of India had enhanced their budgeted allocation under the PMAY, which is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, by 66% to 796 billion, around 80,000 crores approximately. So under this scheme, the government has a task of completing around 4.5 million household, and this will drive the demand in structural steel tube for the next 3 to 4 years. Then coming on to the warehousing sector, where the Indian warehousing market is currently valued at 1,200 billion in FY21. And now this is expected to reach around 2,872 billion by 2027, showing a huge growth of 15.6% CAGR during FY22 to FY27 period. So this will also augur well, warehousing will also augur well for the structural steel tube. Then we have infra, where the government of India has planned to build around 70 to 80 airports by 2025 under its Udan scheme. For this, the Airports Authority of India and private sector, they will cumulatively invest around 1 trillion, which is 1 lakh crore in the next 2 to 3 years of this expansion. Coupled with this, you also have an emerging sector, which is metros, where the government has planned to expand its total metro network to around 2,660 kilometers from the present 690 kilometers. So therefore, this also leaves a very lucrative opportunity for the ERW pipes in infra. Then we have water sanitization, green growth. So in green growth, the government has emphasized on the transition towards clean energy, where the Ministry of New and Renewables Energy has received allocation approximately 10,222 crores, so which is a significant increase of 48% compared to the previous budget allocation of 7,000 crores. So this is another segment, which is the new modern age segment in ERW pipes. And coming on to the last, which is water sanitization. So as we all know, the government has allotted around 70,000 crores towards the Jal Jeevan mission, which aims to provide clean drinking water to over 180 million rural households by FY24. So currently, the as we all know, the in the companies such as APL Apollo, then we have High Tech and all. Majorly, all of the companies have a good order book amounting to 20 to 25% in the Jal Jeevan mission. Yeah. So next slide, Kishan. Yeah, now let us talk about we are majorly seeing a shift from the commercial grade products to the value-added products. So commercial grade products are nothing but black pipes, or it is also called as hollow pipes. And the second one is the GI pipes, which is galvanized pipe. You have GI pipes, GP pipes. So those are the value-added products. So in the commercial grade products, we have a very low EBITDA per ton, which is around 2,000 rupees per ton. Whereas GI pipes commands 7,000 rupees per EBITDA per ton. So the many companies differ in their EBITDA per ton, like APL Apollo. Their products have the value-added products will achieve EBITDA per ton of rupees 9,000 to 11,000 per ton going forward, as it has commissioned its Raipur plant, where they are only focusing on producing value-added products. So the difference between commercial and GI pipes, we'll look at it. Why GI pipes commands higher EBITDA per ton? Because the black pipes, they are they have no coating on them, whereas galvanized pipes is coated with zinc. This is purely because these are the coating is done to avoid corrosion. So that's a plus point for the GI pipes, and they have the higher amount of coating is done, more is the life of the pipe. Then you have the price and durability. So galvanized pipes are more expensive and durable than the black pipes. Coming onto the color, where the black pipes, they are black, and whereas galvanized pipes, they have a color of silver and gray. And black pipes, they are majorly used for transporting gas, and GI pipes are majorly used for carrying water. So yeah, so that now if we see the value-added products, if the in the companies have been increasing from their revenue share. Like earlier it was around 70 to 20%. However, it is slowly declining, the commercial grade products, and and the valid products are increasing. This tends to drive higher margins for the company, resulting into higher profitability. Next slide, Kishan. Yeah. So like we have shortlisted a few of the companies, like the top 5 to 6 players in the ERW segment, where APL Apollo commands the highest market share of approximately like 57 to 60%, and the current installed capacity is around 3.6 million tons, and they have proposed to commercially the 5 million tons of capacity will be available from followed by JTL, Rama, High Tech. So over here you can see all the companies are aggressively increasing their capacity. Like recently JTL Industries had announced a mega expansion plan. Like till FY25 they are increasing their capacity from 0.6 million tons to 1 million ton, and within the next 2 years they are going to increase from 1 million to 2 million ton, which is the company is doing very aggressive capex in this. Similarly, Rama Steel Tubes has a current installed capacity of around 3 lakh tons, and they will be growing to around 4 lakh tons. Similarly, same in the way like high tech pipes, and even the company is going to raise up to 1 million ton by FY25. Recently, like coming onto the Man Industries, the company had the company has recently done their capex in the ERW segment, and that is going to get operational from the next quarter, from Q4, and the major revenues of ERW pipes in Man Industry will flow from FY25 onwards. Similarly, good luck. Even they have approximately expanded a capacity from 3 lakh 60,000, and they are going to expand till 4 lakh 50,000 in the next 1 year. Yeah, so next is the financial metrics of all these companies, where the APL Apollo, like you can see यहाँ पे APL Apollo और JTL Industries के सबसे ज़्यादा returns है, where जहाँ पे 23.5 and 29% ROE ROCE है, and कंपनी का बहुत ही कम debt है, like it has a debt equity of 0.1x. Similarly, JTL also has a debt by equity of 0.1x. Rama Steel. So APL Apollo and JTL have the highest returns in their segment of ERW pipes, whereas Rama High Tech, they are in the range of 10 to 15%. Then you have Good Luck, Surya Roshni. They also command significantly higher ROE and ROCE. Now the Surya Roshni pipes, they are majorly used for oil and transmission, like oil and gas transmission, and they have a market share of 10% in that, because they are very specialized in in that segment, oil and gas transmission. So like these are the figures of as on FY23. Now the companies have a higher capex, and that will get factored in the next year. Yeah, so in the next year that all will get factored in. Yeah, then coming on to the next slide. Yeah, so now what are the risk factors in the risk factors in ERW pipes? So like we all know, like whenever there is a sudden fall in HRC prices, the traders destock their inventory, because they anticipate that there will be more of a price correction, and this leads to lower revenue and lower profitability of the company. Then you also have like if there is a slowdown in the capex by the government and private sector, so this is a major risk in that segment, in the ERW segment, as the Jal Jeevan Mission Jal Jeevan Mission has a huge amount of orders inflow by the from all the companies. So like Jal Jeevan Mission approximately is around 20 to 25% of the order book, comprising in all the companies. Then we have many companies are still following RCC structure, and if there is a delay in adoption of ERW pipes, then that is also a major drawback for the company, for all the companies, because ERW pipes are majorly why are those used? major than the RCC, because by using ERW pipes, you have the carpet area increasing by around 2 to 3%, which gives higher returns to the so there is higher returns in that. Similarly, there is time saved on the construction, as the superstructure of the structural steel tube is built within 8 days, whereas RCC structure takes around 24 days. So this results in significant saving in the interest cost for the builders. So like up to years interest cost is saved for the builder. And the third major reason is that you have faster cash flow flowing in for the company in a very short period of time. Like if you build a institutional building, medical, hotel, school, so this generates very higher liquidity. So if you look at all these positives, so it is basically a no-brainer to adopt a ERW pipe, which I currently had previously mentioned that it is still at the nascent stage, and the many companies they are growing their capacities because they sense huge demand in this sector. Yeah, then next slide, Kishan. Yeah, so we have shortlisted some of our top picks, like where you can see, like first is Good Luck India, second is APL Apollo, High Tech, and fourth is JTL. So this will be our top picks in the particular segment, the ERW pipes. Like these four companies has like they are aggressively expanding their capacities, and they have a very high CAGR. Like the management is guiding for a very high CAGR growth in their revenues by like approximately 30% year on year. As the companies are expanding their capacities multifold, this will increase their revenues, and together with that, the major point is that their value-added products is also increasing along with exports, where the exports, they have a higher margin as compared to the domestic market. Yeah, so Good Luck India, like if you know that the Good Luck India has also entered into a new vertical defense, and APL Apollo, like over there in the APL Apollo, the Raipur plant has been commissioned. However, the capacity where it is running, it is still at 50%, where we'll see this ramping up to 100% in the next 1 or 2 years. So we'll see a massive amount of growth in revenue and sales volume. Similarly, High Tech, where the current capacity is around 0.6 million tons, which will grow to 1 million ton in the next year. Recently, a week back, the High Tech pipes has commissioned its Anand capacity of 150,000, where the current capacity now reaches to around 750,000. So, and the fourth is JTL Industries, where I had earlier mentioned the current capacity is around 0.6 million tons same, which is expected to grow to 1 million tons in next 1 year, and then followed by another 1 million ton in FY27. So the company sends a huge growth opportunity in the following segment. So this would be our 4 top picks in the ERW pipe segment. Yeah. So that's all from our side.
Yeah, thanks, Harsh. Yeah, thanks, Harsh, for this lovely presentation on structural steel tube industry. Since many guys were requesting कि हिंदी में बोलो, तो मैं इसे समराइज करना चाहूँगा हिंदी में जो डिस्कशन हुआ. तो हर्ष हमें ये बता रहा था कि जो स्टील ट्यूब स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री है, इसका जो ग्रोथ आउटलुक है काफ़ी अच्छा ग्रोथ आउटलुक है, और इसका बेसिकली इसके जो मुख्य ड्राइवर है, ग्रोथ ड्राइवर, वो है काफ़ी सारे सेक्टर हैं, जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन हो गया, ऑयल एंड गैस हो गया, वाटर हो गया. तो बेसिकली जहाँ जहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन की एक्टिविटी होती है वहाँ स्टील ट्यूब लगते हैं. और जो स्टील ट्यूब है, इसे बनाने का तरीका बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं. उनमें से जो सबसे बड़ा जो इंडस्ट्री का शेयर है ERW जिसे कहते हैं हम, ERW का फुल फॉर्म होता है इलेक्ट्रिक आर्क वेल्डिंग. तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि ये जो पाइप है, जो एक मेटल की जो शीट होती है, उसे राउंड करके उसे वेल्डिंग करते हैं सीमलेसली, और उसे ERW कहा जाता है. और ये जो पाइप है, इसके बहुत जगह एप्लीकेशन होते हैं, जैसे वाटर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में पानी एक जगह से दूसरी जगह लेके जाना है तो उसके लिए पाइप लगता है, गैस ट्रांसमिशन में लगता है, ऑयल सेक्टर में लगता है. एट द सेम टाइम अगर हम सबने देखा होगा कि आजकल रेलवे स्टेशन पर या एयरपोर्ट पर या कोई भी टोल प्लाजा होता है, तो उसमें बड़े बड़े राउंड पाइप होते हैं जिससे स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया जाता है, और फिर वो स्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर आप कोई भी मेटल शीट या ये लगा करके वहाँ स्ट्रक्चर खड़ा किया जाता है। और रिसेंटली बॉम्बे में तो अभी काफी सारे बिल्डिंग्स में ये देखा गया है कि ईट जो सीमेंट और जो बेसिकली ब्रिक्स है उसका यूज होता नहीं है, और जितना भी जो स्ट्रक्चर है पूरा पाइप के बेसिस पे खड़ा किया जाता है। और इसके चलते हुए जितना भी जो स्ट्रक्चरल ट्यूब स्टील ट्यूब की जो डिमांड है काफी हेल्दी है। और अब इसमें ग्रेजुअली क्या हुआ है कि पहले ये जो कंपनीज है एक कमोडिटी प्रोडक्ट बनाती थी, और अब जितनी भी बड़ी कंपनीज है जैसे एपीएल अपोलो जो कि इंडस्ट्री की लीडर हैं, इन्होंने अपना एक प्रोडक्ट डाइवर्सिफिकेशन किया है, एक प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया है, वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया है जिसके मार्जिन बेहतर होते हैं, जिससे कंपनी को प्रॉफिट ज्यादा आता है। तो अगर आप देखेंगे अभी पिछले 1-1.5 साल में काफी सारी कंपनीज ने अपना जो एक्सपेंशन प्लान अनाउंस किया है वो वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट के फेवर में किया है। और इसके चलते हुए जो इनके जो नॉर्मल जो मार्जिन थे 5 या 6% के आसपास, ग्रेजुअली हम ये देखेंगे कि कंपनी के जो मार्जिन है ये एक्सपैंड होंगे 8 से 9% के आसपास। हालांकि जो स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री होती है इसमें मार्जिन परसेंटेज कम में नहीं देखा जाता है, इसमें ईबिटा पर टन से मार्जिन देखा जाता है। इसका एक मुख्य कारण ये है कि जो स्टील के दाम है इसमें काफी एक फ्लक्चुएशन होता है, और इसके चलते सिंस दी कंपनी के लिए की रॉ मटेरियल जो स्टील कॉइल होती है उसके चलते जो सेल्स है उसमें भी ऊपर नीचे वोलेटिलिटी रहती है। और उसके इसलिए जो कंपनी है अपना जो भी बिजनेस प्लान करती है वो ईबिटा पर टन की, भाई मुझे अगर मैंने 1 टन मैंने मेरा पाइप सेल किया तो मुझे कितना ईबिटा का मतलब ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट कितना मिलेगा ये फिक्स होता है। तो एक नॉर्मल जो कमोडिटी बिजनेस होता है उसमें ईबिटा पर टन 4,000 2,000 से 3,000 रुपए पर टन के आसपास होता है। पर टन मतलब 2 से 3 रुपया पर किलो हो गया ये। और अब जितने भी नए वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट लग रहे हैं उसमें इनका जो ईबिटा है 6,000 से लेके 15,000 रुपए पर टन तक, इसका मतलब 6 रुपए से 15 रुपए किलो के पीछे कंपनी अपना ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट बनाएगी। तो जितने भी अब अगर आपने अगर ये रिसेंटली कमेंट्री सुनी होगी, मैनेजमेंट टीवी में बहुत बार आती है, एपीएल अपोलो ट्यूब हो गई, जेटीएल हो गई, गुड लक इंडस्ट्री हो गई, इन्होंने सबने जो अपना जो रेवेन्यू मिक्स है वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट के फेवर में करने का प्लान बनाया है। और उसी के चलते उनके अकॉर्डिंगली जो नए एक्सपेंशन प्लान है उसमें मशीनरी भी वैसे ही लगाई जा रही है। जिस तरह से हर्ष ने बताया कि गैल्वेनाइज स्टील ट्यूब हो गया, स्टील जो ट्यूब होते हैं राउंड शेप में भी होते हैं, स्क्वायर शेप में भी होते हैं, रेक्टेंगल में होते हैं, और इसका एप्लीकेशन बहुत जगह है। एक सिंपल एप्लीकेशन में आपको बताऊंगा कि अब जैसे सोलर पैनल है, सोलर पैनल पैन इंडिया लगेंगे, तो सोलर पैनल लगाने के लिए जो नीचे स्टील का जो स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा जिसके ऊपर पैनल रखे जाएंगे, ये भी एक इंडस्ट्री का एक मुख्य ग्रोथ ड्राइवर रहेगा। और एट द सेम टाइम ये सिर्फ इंडिया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ग्रोथ स्टोरी नहीं है, काफी सारी कंपनीज हैं जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भी ये अपॉर्चुनिटी एनकैश कर रही हैं। अगर आप सबने कोई आर्टिकल पढ़े होंगे तो यूएस में भी एक बहुत बड़ा केपेक्स बूम चल रहा है। इसका एक मुख्य कारण ये है कि कोविड के बाद सबको ये रियलाइज हुआ है कि जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बेस है वो सिर्फ चाइना में नहीं हो सकता है, उसके कारण सबको दिक्कत हो सकती है। और इसी के चलते जो डेवलप वर्ल्ड है, यूएस, यूरोप, वो भी अपने इकोनॉमी में एक केपेक्स कर रहे हैं, अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं, वहां भी फैक्ट्रीज लग रही हैं, और उसमें ये सब स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब पाइप है, इसका कहीं ना कहीं एप्लीकेशन होता है। हालांकि प्राइस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप थोड़ा सा जो स्टोरी है पॉजिटिविटी, कहीं ना कहीं स्टॉक प्राइस में ऑलरेडी डिस्काउंटेड है। हमने देखा कि पिछले कुछ महीनों में काफी सारी कंपनीज ने बहुत अच्छे रिटर्न भी जनरेट करके दिए हैं, और अब जब हम मार्केट के लाइफ हाई के आसपास है, यहाँ से रिटर्न एक्सपेक्टेशन थोड़ा सा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट का होराइजन है थोड़ा हमें लंबा रखना होगा। और जो जिस तरह से हर्ष ने 4 स्टॉक अभी हमारे सामने रखे थे, इन सब में इन्वेस्टमेंट का जो होराइजन है 18 से 24 महीने है। गुड लक स्टील हो गया, एपीएल अपोलो हो गया, जेटीएल इंडस्ट्री हो गया और हाईटेक पाइप, और ये चारों कंपनीज के मैनेजमेंट से हमने मुलाकात कर रखी है, और हमें लगता है कि एक अच्छा रिटर्न यहाँ से बन सकता है। इनफैक्ट आप बोलोगे कि ये दिसंबर क्वार्टर के जो नतीजे हैं ये स्ट्रक्चरल पाइप कंपनीज के अच्छे क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं, तो इसका एक मुख्य कारण ये भी रहा है कि क्या होता है कि जब स्टील के दाम ऊपर नीचे होते हैं उसके चलते जो इनके जो डीलर होते हैं, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स होते हैं, वो अपना जो इन्वेंट्री है रीस्टॉकिंग और स्टॉकिंग करते हैं। अब जब पिछले 3 महीने में स्टील के दाम इंटरनेशनली घटे हैं, तो इनके जो डीलर और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर हैं इन्होंने क्या फोकस किया है कि हमारे पास जो एग्जिस्टिंग जो इन्वेंट्री है, एग्जिस्टिंग जो पाइप्स है उसे हम बेचते हैं, और नए पाइप जब स्टील के दाम नीचे बॉटम आउट हो जाएंगे तब हम खरीदेंगे। तो अब जितनी भी कंपनीज है वो ये कह रही है कि जो अक्टूबर से दिसंबर का समय था, उस वक्त डीलर लोगों ने अपनी इन्वेंट्री कम बाय करी है और अब ये जो इन्वेंट्री कहीं ना कहीं सिस्टम में कम हुई है, ये जैन से मार्च क्वार्टर जो कि जैन 24 से मार्च क्वार्टर है, इसमें इन्वेंट्री ज्यादा बाय की जाएगी और इसका जो बेनिफिट है जो दिसंबर क्वार्टर में नहीं आया वो अब जैन से मार्च क्वार्टर में आएगा। तो एक अच्छा मौका है कि क्वालिटी बिजनेस हम पोर्टफोलियो में ऐड कर सकते हैं। हालांकि इन्वेस्ट करने के बहुत सारे एवेन्यू होते हैं। स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री में अगर हमें पैसा लगाना है तो हमारा ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो का ये जो पार्ट है 5 से 6% हो सकता है, क्योंकि इसमें ज्यादा बड़ी कंपनीज है नहीं। एपीएल अपोलो जो है यही एक 40 से 50 हजार करोड़ का मार्केट कैप की कंपनी है और बाकी की जो कंपनीज है छोटे मार्केट कैप की कंपनी, हालांकि ग्रोइंग कंपनी है, तो हमें ये हमारा स्मॉल कैप मिड कैप पोर्टफोलियो का पार्ट रहेगा। बट ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो में जो स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री है इसका एक्सपोजर 6 से 8% से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। तो आई थिंक मैंने आप सभी का जो जिसे हिंदी में जानना था उनके डाउट क्लियर करने की कोशिश की है। अब लेट अस टेक क्वेश्चन वन बाय वन। और मेरी आप सबसे एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है कि काइंडली जो स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री के बारे में अगर आपको कुछ जानकारी चाहिए तो हम उसके बारे में आपके सवाल के आपके क्वेश्चन के आंसर करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि अदरवाइज ये अगर ओपन फोरम रख दिया तो क्वेश्चन आंसर अनलिमिटेड कहीं भी कुछ भी टॉपिक स्टार्ट हो जाएगा और जो हमारा एम है कि आपको स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री के बारे में जानकारी दे वो फुलफिल नहीं हो पाएगा। तो ग्रेजुअली मैं ऊपर से स्टार्ट करता हूँ, एक एक क्वेश्चन जो स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ट्यूब इंडस्ट्री या उनके कंपनी के रिलेटेड है एक एक करके हम उन्हें आंसर करते हैं। मीनवाइल अगर आपके और कोई क्वेश्चन है, इफ यू हैव एनी फर्दर क्वेश्चन यू कैन पोस्ट इन अ चैट बॉक्स। So first question is on NMDC Steel. Although NMDC Steel is not a part of structural steel tube industry, but since it is related to metal and mining sector, I will try to address this question. So NMDC Steel, we all know, have been recently demerged from NMDC Limited. The company is into manufacturing of steel products, and when the company was demerged, the agenda was to hive off this business to some private player. And since now we are very close to the general election, I feel the entire process of hiving off of NMDC Steel will be taken up by the government of India post election outcome, that is post July 2024. Having said that, at current market price of 60-65, I feel it's fairly valued. The only trigger for NMDC Steel can be turnaround of the company, which is again subject to metal prices, which is driven by global demand supply environment. So, in case you are holding the stock, you can hold on to the stock with an expectation that eventually the company will be hived off by government of India, and some private player will try to revive the business and make it profitable. So you need to slightly be patient as far as the NMDC steel investment is concerned, and you need to wait post the election for to hear from the government what is the strategy on NMDC steel for as far as divestment is concerned. Next question on steel industry. Sure. Yeah, so Amit Chatterjee is asking what is the prospect of Rama Steel. So Harsh, would you like to address this question? Yeah. So Harsh will address this question on that.
Yeah, so Rama Steel is also a good fundamental company. The company had recently, had announced the bonus issue in the ratio of 2:1. Like for every one share, you will be issued two bonus equity shares. So the company is also like growing step by step. So currently, it has a capacity of 3 lakh tons, and it is going to grow to 4 lakh tons in the near period. And the company is also increasing its value-added share in the near term. So yeah, so if you are holding the stock, like you can continue to hold because the prospects remains bright in future. So yeah. Yeah, so like the next question is from Mastin Wali, like what is the target for APL Apollo for the next 3 years? So yesterday, on Saturday, it had declared its quarterly result, and today was the con call on APL Apollo. So the company had, they had already mentioned in their previous con call that in October and November month, like the for 1.5 months of the current of the Q3 quarter, so they had seen a lot of destocking. That is why the numbers are not up to the mark. However, like the management has guided that the restocking has again started, and they remain very positive on their future growth prospect. The like and two reasons were also that the Raipur plant, the commissioning was a little delayed by by around 4 to 5 months, and the Dubai plant also got a bit delayed. So due to that, the stock price has not reacted since 3 to 4 months. However, now the company is taking actions and is still on its growth path, and they have guided for a 2.8 million tons of the FY24 numbers, which should be around 2.7, 2.7, 2.6 to 2. In between of 2.6 to 2.8, and the Raipur plant has been commissioned where they are producing only validated products, and they have a DFT technology as well. Like DFT technology is like the DFT technology is where the pipes are directly made in the form in which you want to be made, like the circular or the oval type. So this commands a higher premium where and the EBITDA per ton of the DFT technology stands around 9,000 per ton, the EBITDA per ton. So the prospects for APL Apollo is it remains intact because you will see more like sales volume coming ahead. So yeah, if you are already holding the stock for APL Apollo, please continue to hold. Yeah.
And
So next question we have from Vidyavatri Shettikar, like, can I sell or hold NMDC? So if you already have, an NMDC in your portfolio, please continue to hold. Like recently, if you know that the company had announced a price increase in their lumps and fine, and by 400 to 450 per ton. So the current lump and fine is standing around rupees 6,100 to and 5,800 per ton. And the company you probably if we see that the company should have a good quarter in Q3 because it will see a major price increase in their revenue along with volumes. So NMDC is a good hold. Like you can still hold the stock.
mm, yeah, so sorry, we missed one question from Mr. Natharaju, whether modular structuring in housing sector would be adopted by the builders and public. So yeah, definitely. So the place where we are based out of in Mumbai from Marathon Future X. So recently they have expanded their building by adding 2 3 floor, and we have not seen usage of any cement or bricks. In fact, the entire structure was based on modular. So all these steel pillars and basically structural pipes were used to increase the height of the building. So gradually we are seeing this adoption, and recently APL Apollo has also proven its case wherein this water tank which we see in which are used to supply water to public in rural area. So there is a huge water tank, if you all remember, which was the just to give a proper correlation, the tank which was used by Dharmendra in the movie Sholay for that famous dialogue. So those tanks are now being made in structural tube, and APL Apollo has already proven that. And at the same time, the use of metals is increasing in our day-to-day consumption. A case in point, a gate, a bungalow where the gate is made by the structural tube, or for that matter, staircase, the handle railing is made by the structural tube. So there are many applications where directly, indirectly, modular structuring is getting used in housing in by the builders and the public, and hence we are seeing increased traction as far as demand of structural steel tube is concerned. In terms of what is an expected return from this sector, so one can expect maybe a return of 15 to 18% CAGR from various companies in a structural steel tube industry. And everything is a function of basically two things. One is uh, uh, increase in contribution of value added product in each and every company. So whenever you're tracking all these companies, I will request each and everyone to go through the company's result before taking any decision of buy and sell. And if you find that the profitability is increasing because of increase in contribution from value added product, so you can keep on holding on to the stock. At the same time, we are there to help you in case you have got any doubt on any companies in a structural steel tube industry. Please feel free to reach out to the research desk of SBI Securities. Then, so we have missed one more question from Siddharji. Welcome back, Siddharji. So you are a regular follower of our webinar. Thanks for attending our webinar today again. Mathan Alloy have zero debt. Any view for long term? So Siddharji, yes, we are bullish on this company Mathan Alloy, and it's a play on pellet. In addition to Mathan Alloy, Godrej GPIL Godavari Power and Ispat Limited, they have also got one of the business in the on the similar line. And however, one has to keep in mind that to some extent both these companies are dependent on export to China. And right now, China is going through trouble as far as GDP growth is concerned. However, recently we have heard a lot of steps been taken by Chinese government to boost their economy. So, any positive news from a China front is will be positive for, in fact, entire metals and mining sector, because that will lead to the increase in consumption, and hence metal prices may see a strong upward movement. So yes, we are bullish on Mathan Alloy also as a business from a long-term perspective. The next question is from Keyur ji. Thanks for attending our webinar. Sell good for 1 year. So yes, definitely, Keyur. So we are bullish on metals and mining sector for entire calendar year 24, and sale seems to be a good bet for 1 year. So you can continue to hold the sale for 1 year. But having said that, if you ask me what is my preferred pick in steel sector, so I would like to go ahead with a few of the companies like Jindal Stainless, which is reporting a very solid set of number. In addition to that, Tata Steel, and at the same time Hindalco, which is a play on aluminium. Nalco again, which is a play on aluminium. Hindustan Copper, which is a play on copper. So these are a few more stocks which we like from metal and mining sector. On mining side, we like businesses like Moil Manganese or India Limited, one of the largest producer of manganese in India. And in case the stainless steel production is increasing, obviously the manganese consumption will also increase. GMDC, recently they have got permission to operate their two mines. At the same time, they are eyeing new metals like lithium, which will be clear over the period of next 2 to 3 months. So auction for critical mineral and lithium is on the way. So many metal and mining companies that you will see will be bidding for that, and few will emerge to be winner in metals and mining sector. Jyoti is asking question. NSL NIPS is almost lost 100 crore.
NMDC steel है, NSL NIPS.
NMDC. Yeah, so Jyoti, that is what I was trying to explain, that this company was a loss-making company, NMDC Steel Limited, and hence the government has decided to hive off this business to a private player. And in anticipation of, we have seen historically that whenever a private player take over any government company, they will infuse some fund, they will reduce the cost, and they will try to turn around the business. Obviously, private player can't run the business in losses for a significant longer period of time. Otherwise, he has to shut the business, right? So NMDC Steel Limited is more of a play on divestment story. However, one has to keep in mind that and post-election, new government will take call on, so got a lack of capital, you can book profit in NMDC Steel and shift to any other company which is in a strong upward momentum. Next question is from BB Raizada. Thanks for asking the question. Can we buy Mishra Dhatu Nigam at current level for 1 to 2 year time frame. Yes, we are again bullish on Mishra Dhatu Nigam Limited. However, the stock price has run up during the last few days. So what I would suggest is that buy gradually on deep buy for, since your investment horizon is for 2 years. Why to rush and accumulate the stock at a higher level? Market will give opportunity and buy at a lower level. Actually, you can accumulate the stock gradually in your long-term portfolio. The next question is from Vedavati Shettigar. Again, wish to Maya Boil, Moil. So yeah, I think we are bullish on Moil, and definitely you can add Moil in your metals and mining portfolio. The next question is on JSW Infra from Sandeep Das. So first of all, I would like to clarify that JSW Infra is not a metal company. They are into the port business, very similar to Adani Port. So Adani Port is one of the largest port operator in India. JSW Infra is the second largest port operator in India. So you can continue to hold this company in a medium to long term portfolio. Obviously, as the India grow, export import volume and shipment will increase, and all the port operator will be key beneficiary of increase in export and import. The next question is from Bilash Shah. What is your view on Godha Carbon Insulation Limited? So Bilash, I am sorry, we have not seen this company. Just give us some time. We will get back to you on this Godha Carbon Insulation Limited.
46 crores का market cap है Godha.
Okay. So it's give us some time. We will get back to you on this. Okay. Anuradha Kota, what is the target price of JSPL?
Yeah, so Anuradha ma'am, like Jindal Steel currently, like first of all, the results are due on 31st. So like we'll come to know how it has fared in the third quarter. But like if you like 2 weeks back, like the company there was a positive development in Jindal Steel and Power, where it had commissioned its hot strip mill at its Angul plant. So the company is gradually like the capex has been commenced, and the capacity is increasing. So like going ahead, we'll see much further volumes in the company. So if you already have the stock, please continue to hold. Maybe further we can see levels of 800 to 850 over the next few months or a year's time. Yeah.
So Sunilji, since your question is on NBCC, I would like to avoid this. Since we are covering metals and mining sector, let us restrict our discussion on metals and mining sector. Sorry, apologies for that. Otherwise, there will be list of questions which we need to address. And the main agenda of discussing basically structural steel tube industry will go underway. So sorry for that. You can route your query through your dealer advisor to us, or you can write us on research@sbicaptech.com. So next question is from Vivek Bhattji. Again, thanks Vivekji for asking this question. Generally, growth in the steel industry is limited. So can one of these become multi-bagger? So Vivekji, a very good question. One has to keep in mind that metal and mining as a sector is a cyclical sector. Again, the entire sector is driven by demand supply environment, which is based on multiple global factors. So one need to be very sharp and cautious, nimble footed, wherein when the sector is not doing good at that point of time, you should enter the company at the right point where the sector is turning around. And when the sector is at its peak, wherein we are seeing a record high earning and low PE ratio, low EV to EBITDA ratio, at that point of time, one should book the profit in steel industry. So it's a slightly tricky investment as far as cyclical sector is concerned. But having said that, with Indian economy likely to grow at a robust pace, the domestic demand for steel industry is likely to increase multifold over the period of next 10 years. So just to give you a perspective, right now the capacity of steel in India is close to 25 million ton, and over the period of next 8 to 10 years, it is expected that this capacity will increase to 300 million ton, almost 3 times. So a domestic player which are focusing players which are focusing on domestic markets will definitely be one of the key beneficiary in case the infrastructure spending in India continues, and that is that and the way government is spending money on infrastructure, I think the outlook for steel industry continue to remain healthy. But having said that, again, if the global commodity, as we are seeing that there is a slump in demand in the international market, China is dumping metals in Indian markets also, and there is time and again demand from the industry that we need to protect the domestic industry by deploying an anti-dumping duty. So slightly tricky sector to handle. So multi-baggers can be made in case your entry point is right and exit point is also right. Sometimes it happens that people make multi-bagger return, but they fail to book the profit at right time in a cyclical sector like metals and mining, and in that case, that entire return may vanish in the span of very small period of time. Next question is from again BB Raizada. Thanks for answering. Can Vedanta be accumulated for 2 year time frame? Yes, what we feel is that the recently December quarter results were far better than expectation, in line with expectation, in fact, and the company has posted record sales and EBITDA. And at the same time, their promoter level bond refinancing that has been postponed to 2027, and the company has went on record to say that the entire demerger process, clarity on the demerger process of Vedanta in the different businesses will be clarified by end of quarter 4, that is March 24 quarter. And if somebody is a really long-term investor, one can accumulate gradually. Don't deploy your money on a day one in Vedanta. Again, your allocation has to be proper. Out of your total 100 rupees portfolio, your allocation in Vedanta should not be more than 2 to 3%. So gradually accumulate, track the development. In case there are positive development, definitely the company has got a lot of value in various businesses, whether it is across the zinc or silver or whether it is aluminium. So it's a good business to be in. Due to the company is in trouble due to promoter level debt, and however, since it has been delayed now, the refinancing has been delayed to 2027. One can look at Vedanta also in medium to long term. So there are many questions on Nalco and Hindalco. So I will try to answer all the questions together. So one has to keep in mind that Nalco and Hindalco and are a play on aluminium. And aluminium is likely to be one of the aluminium along with the copper is likely to be one of the most used metal in the next 8 to 10 years. The reason being that copper will be needed for electric vehicle batteries and all those stuff. And aluminium is one of the most stable and lightweight metal. So entire agenda of lightweighting and increasing efficiency, whether it is automobile sector or any machinery, that is getting a lot of boost and support from many government, and hence aluminium as a commodity, the prospect of aluminium as a commodity looks pretty good, and hence we continue to remain bullish on aluminium space. And Nalco and Hindalco obviously are one of the play. And one more company which is into this aluminium foil is Sham Metallic. So recently they have commissioned the plant wherein they will supply this aluminium foil which will be used in batteries. So that again one of the company, although aluminium foil business is one of the small part of the business, so that company can also be in radar. So Anuradha ji, we have Anuradha ji is asking question on can you give topics in tube industry? So we have already discussed this. So I will, for benefit of everyone, I will repeat our topics in structural steel tube industry. So Good Luck India, APL Apollo Tube, JTL Industry, and High Tech Pipe. These are the 4 players which we like in a structural steel tube industry from a medium to long term perspective. In addition to that, Venus is also one of the company which is doing well, so one can look at that company also. So next question is from Sandeep ji. Which point is more important in fundamental research and future analysis in stock? So Sandeep ji, I would like to answer this question in a very brief manner. So ultimately, the fundamental research, the main point is whether the company is likely to grow in terms of profitability. If company is if there is a prospect wherein the company can manage to grow its profit at the 15 to 20% compounded annual growth rate for a pretty longer period of time, 3 to 5 years, definitely that company will be on radar. In addition to that, a few more important parameters are whether the company is cash flow positive, what are the return ratios, ROE, ROC, whether ROE and ROC is more than 15%. At the same time, what is the balance sheet size of the company in case something goes wrong and the company is heavy on debt, then that may lead to the collapse in the financial leverage of the company. At the same time, the sector to which the company belongs, what is the growth prospect of that sector. So many factors. Ultimately, everything is driven by profit. We all know that the market is the slaves of earning growth, right? If you are able to find a company which are growing profit by 30, 40, 50%, definitely market will reward them with a higher valuation also. So ultimately you have to find the sector, identify the company which are where the profit is growing at a rapid clip and at a faster clip than the industry in which it is present. So that clearly shows that company is gaining the market share also. So basically, ultimately profit growth is something which one need to look while studying any company. And in addition to that, what is the balance sheet size, whether the company is cash flow positive, what are the return ratios. So these are the few important parameters you need to look into while doing a fundamental analysis of any company. So we will take last two questions. I think we are running out of the time now. So Chandresh ji is asking question, Midhani is trading at 52-week high, is it good time to buy? So yes, we are bullish on Midhani. The reason being that they make a very specialized alloy and material which goes into the aerospace and defense industry. And the way government is giving boost to the indigenization of defense products, or for that matter aerospace, or for that matter any product which require a very high strength or specialized characteristics. In those cases, the Midhani is supplying the key raw material. So we are definitely bullish on Midhani in medium to long term. But however, the stock has run up during the last 4 to 5 days significantly. So if you want to deploy your fresh capital, better to deploy on deep, buy gradually. Uh, uh, it won't happen that the stock will keep on moving daily, making new high once it is in 52-week high range. There will be some period of consolidation. At that point of time, you can definitely add Midhani. But however, a word of caution, one need to keep a slightly longer horizon. Don't expect that if you buy the stock today and you will start getting generating return from tomorrow. So slightly investment horizon has to be slightly longer, whether it is for Midhani or for any company at a current juncture where we are standing close to a life high as far as equity markets are concerned. So again, the question is on kindly suggest some counter on alloy metals and lithium space for EV story. So right, as far as lithium is concerned, right now the government has initiated the process of auctioning the lithium mining rights. So nobody knows which are the companies which are likely to get the mining rights as far as lithium is concerned. And in addition to lithium, one of the important metal which goes in electric vehicle story is copper. So copper story can be, one can ride the copper story through Hindustan Copper. That's the only largest player as far as domestic copper story is concerned, wherein they have got their own copper mine. So Hindustan Copper. And in addition to that, a few of the component like we have discussed, Sham Metallic or Hindalco, they have recently put a plant for aluminum foil, which will go into the batteries manufacturing these lithium ion batteries and all those stuff. So these are the few companies which can be looked upon in the metal space to ride on the EV story. So yeah, I think we have addressed each and most of the questions from metals and mining sector. I hope we have added value to all of you as far as structural steel tube industry is concerned. This webinar will be available on YouTube channel of SBI Securities. So in case you have not understood anything, you can definitely go through the webinar once again, and it will be available on YouTube. So at your convenience, you can go through the webinar once again. And thank you all for taking time out today evening and attending this webinar. Look forward to your support and for our all the our future webinars. Yeah, over to Harsh for its final comments.
Thank you, sir. So, thank you everyone for giving us time and listening to our presentation. And I hope we have addressed all your questions regarding the structural steel tube and the metal companies which all have asked in the comment section. Yeah, thank you so much.